Hey everybody, welcome to a new video. It's been raining the entire day. I got pretty drenched walking Teddy, so I've changed into something comfortable and warmed up. It's not that cold, it's just wet, it's just raining all day. But I've got some niche samples here and we're going to do some first impressions. So I've got a couple from Xerjoff, a couple from Kemi and a couple from Tauer. So I thought we'd just give them a sniff. So we've got Serge Ghoul, I think it's pronounced Gao, I'm not sure, G-A-O, it'll be up on the screen. This is from the Oud Stars collection. It comes across like a warm, woody, slightly spiced oud, but there's something in it that smells not natural, but kind of like, I can't decide whether I think it smells like plastic. Glue, that's what it smells like. There's a smell of, like, if you've ever smelled super glue, when you're gluing something together, it's got quite a pungent kind of sharp, which I don't like. I mean, it smells, now I think about it, it smells just like super glue. So that part of it I don't like. But behind that I can smell, yeah, there is kind of a subtly woody spiced kind of oud scent behind that. I think this one probably not good to give first impressions like that. It needs to be on the skin. You need to see how it develops and dries down. So I'll be doing, you know, a full review of that, but from a brief first impression, in passing so to speak, the initial vibe it gives me is super glue. So next up is another Xerjoff and it's called Zanzibar. I might revisit these at the end and look them up to see what the notes are, because I have no idea. I'm kind of doing this completely blind. I don't know what the notes are in any of these fragrances, apart from knowing that they come from the Oud Stars collection, so obviously contains probably oud. This one, you get a funky oud, so I'm presuming maybe a Hindi oud, you know, like an Indian oud. But it might not be. There are some varieties from Southeast Asia that can have a little bit of that as well. But it does have an animalic, barnyard, manure kind of touch. There's something a little bit fresh, maybe hints of spices. This one feels a little bit more complex, and I think you need to be a bit braver in terms of the oud, because that one has a barnyard kind of skank to it. It's not a smooth, clean oud or a fruity oud or a floral oud. This is, you know, more of an animalic barnyard oud, but not over the top. It's not like punch you in the face, knockout with a really, you know, overpowering kind of scent. It's still mellow, but it has definite and obvious nuance of that kind of barnyard kind of scent to that. Not one I would wear myself, and not one I would easily recommend to others. You would need a complex palate and a refined nose to enjoy these kind of scents, I think, personally. The average user isn't going to find that appealing, I wouldn't have thought, really. It's not mainstream, put it that way. So next up is by Kemi. It's called Hayat. This is obviously the other brand from Sergio Momo. He has Xerjoff, Suspiro and Kemi. So Hyatt. There's something piercing, fresh, sharp in the opening. There's almost an aquatic-like nuance to it that smells kind of aquatic-y, watery, with a kind of a clean freshness almost, but again something dirty underlining it. So this is kind of clean and dirty at the same time. Quite unusual, and no particular notes are jumping out at me when I smell that blind. Maybe if I read the note breakdown, I would go, oh, okay, now I can smell that. But from a blind impression, there's nothing that particularly jumps out as being a main note. It is an interesting accord though. Again, not one I would want to wear personally, but obviously these are first impressions from a dab stick, so very casual. Take them as just that, as a passing thing, and then obviously later on I'll do full reviews where I can give you more detail on how they change and how they wear on skin. Obviously this isn't on skin, so I don't put too much weight into this. It's just a little bit of fun having a first impression before I delve into, you know, reviewing them properly. So the next one is Zabir by Kemi. This one's much nicer, and the first note I smell is rose. This is interesting because the rose to me smells quite light in a way, like borderline it could be a pink rose, but there's an underlying darkness to it and an ever so slight sweetness. It's definitely not a sweet perfume, but there's just something slightly sweet going on underneath somewhere, with this almost feminine quality light rose. This one definitely intrigues me. I will be interested in wearing that and seeing how it develops and what other notes come out. A pink, more of a pink lighter rose. It doesn't like strike you as a dark, earthy, rich red rose where you can smell the green, the petals and the earthiness. It's not a dark kind of rose at all. It definitely feels like, if you imagine the colour of the petal, that it would have more of a pink or colour to it rather than just dark red, put it that way. Interesting though. That's my favourite one so far. Interesting to see how that goes. So next up we're going on to Tauer, Andy Tauer, and I've got one of his new releases called Low or Lao. This one is, I believe, like a fresh summer fragrance. That's really kind of all I know about it. Kind of a blend of citrus and floral. I would say there's also an ever so slight sweetness to it. It's very soft and round, completely unisex, but it smells like, to me it reminds me of fabric softener, like a really nice smelling fabric softener or a washing machine liquid, not particular washing machine powder, but more like a washing machine gel or you know, the thicker kind of liquid that you pour in there, or some kind of thick downy kind of fabric softener. It smells like fabric softener, like freshly laundered clean clothing. MFK does a lot of that kind of style scent where it smells like fresh laundry. This, I don't think anyone would... I think it would just smell like you've just washed your clothes with a very nice smelling fabric softener. It doesn't particularly smell like a perfume, so to speak, for me, but it's pleasant. It smells nice, it smells good, it smells very clean. If you're the kind of person that just wants to smell clean, then that might be a good option. And lastly today we've got La Oud by Tauer. If anyone smelled La Oud, let me know. I know from reading his Instagram post that this contains real oud. It's not synthetic. Or, well, it might contain some synthetic, but it does use real oud from Laos, and it's a farmed organic, you know, reliably, or what's the word, ethically sourced. Okay, I don't like that at all. That smells like industrial kind of melted plastic. I used to be a bit of a fire burner when I was a kid. I used to melt stuff. And if you've ever melted plastic, it's a really strong industrial, very particular smell of this kind of melted plastic. If you've ever experienced it, you'll know exactly what I mean. This smells like melted plastic. That's so weird. I mean, I have no idea what the oud is mixed with. or whether that is actually the oud and it just literally just smells like melted plastic. I have no idea. All I can smell from the top note, from smelling it like this, is industrial melted plastic, quite strong. That's not at all something I would want to wear. In fact, I think that would give me a headache. If that doesn't develop or change, then that's not good. That might just be the top note. Maybe that burns off and then you smell the oud properly. No. It just smells like plastic from the opening. I'm gonna have to wear that on skin, so don't take that to the bank yet. From a first impression of smelling the top notes from that, it smells like plastic. Which is a shame. I was hoping it would be more like a rich, pure kind of oud smell. I have no idea what would cause it to smell like plastic. If you have that, or you own it, or you sampled it, let me know what you think. What if you get that, or I bought the samples from Lucky Scent, by the way. Had them shipped over from the US, so I'm presuming they're completely fine samples. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna wear that on skin, and then I'm sure the oud comes out more as it dries down, and so I don't know what. Like I said, it's probably. I'm presuming it has other notes in there. I can't see how an oud would smell like plastic, so I'm presuming it's some other note used in the formula that gives it that impression. Doesn't smell pleasant to me though. If you've tried any of those, let me know your thoughts on them. Maybe you've had a different experience to me. So now we've smelled them blind without knowing anything about them. I'm gonna now look up the notes and revisit them, and we'll see if anything pops out because of that. So the next one was Gao. We'll look this up now. So Gao has oud, saffron, and resins, cypriol, juniper, patchouli, Gurjan balsam, and amber accord. I guess it just must be the combination of notes. But it does remind me of super glue. It still reminds me of glue. My impression hasn't changed. It still smells like super glue to me despite that note breakdown. But one to definitely test on skin and see if that changes. I'm sure it will. So we'll go back to Zanzibar by Xerjoff. So this is oud with osmanthus, tobacco, sandalwood, tonka, musk, cedar, patchouli, vanilla, and green notes. Okay, I remember saying it smelled a little bit spiced, and I can see that being the tobacco now. But tobacco has natural warm kind of spicy nuances to tobacco anyway. But yeah, I can see tobacco definitely is a warm spiced kind of tobacco. I guess that little bit hint of a sweetness might be the tonka and osmanthus. The oud is the main player in Zanzibar, but it has that barnyard, slight fecal touch to it. It's not the most mass appealing, easy to wear oud. It is a little bit challenging. You do also kind of get that kind of a little bit of a muskiness as well. Again, not one I would personally wear from a first impression. So we'll revisit Hayat by Kemi. So this has notes of oud, cedar, saffron, lavender, cardamom, mandarin, cinnamon, patchouli, and amber. So I guess I remember saying it was kind of slightly had a freshness and a coolness and a darkness at the same time. I guess that's the hints of, you get a hint of the lavender and the cardamom, which gives it this kind of slightly cooling, aromatic kind of feeling. And I guess still maybe a little bit of the patchouli and the oud, giving it that kind of darkness to it, where there's a clean freshness mixed with a kind of a dirtiness, so that makes sense with my first impression. Definitely this one is not unpleasant, it smells okay. Maybe a bit more old-fashioned in a way, like a more of a gentleman kind of fragrance. Kind of probably not too appealing to a younger crowd, I would have thought. So next up is Zabir. So the notes in this is oud, peony and rose, with freesia, vanilla, musk, pink pepper, lily of the valley, patchouli. Hello?
Hello. How are you doing?
This is weird.
What's weird?
Well, you've rung me on the phone, but it came up on my laptop and I've answered it from my Mac.
Oh, right.
I've never seen this before. I've just clicked accept on my computer and I'm talking to you through my computer.
Oh.
How does that work?
You must have linked it somehow.
Hmm.
It works. I know it does that with our iPad as well.
Anyway, what's up?
I'm very sorry. I'm ringing to ask a favour.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
So, Zabir by Kemi. So, this has notes of oud, peony, freesia, rose, vanilla, musk, pink pepper, lily of the valley, patchouli, violet and vetiver. So this one I said came across more like a pink rose. Peony is a pink flower, but I might be wrong, but to my knowledge peony hasn't got an absolute. You can't extract an oil from it. As far as I'm aware, I believe that you have to create a peony accord. So that is, you know, you blend other materials together to give an impression of peony. So, but this does have an impression of the colour pink, so I think they obviously did a good job there. Going back to it, it smells probably more feminine. But yeah, very kind of pink floral. You do get the rose. So interesting notes, more feminine when you read it. I think a man can still pull it off. It's not like super feminine, but it does kind of have a light pinkness to it. But that was my favourite one from the Xerjoff and the Kemi. So we'll revisit Lau or Low by Tauer. So this has notes of lemon blossom, iris, ambergris, woody notes, musk, lemon, sweet orange, bergamot and sandalwood. It's a very, very nice combination. You do definitely get an iris vibe, but it doesn't come across as powdery, it's not lipsticky, it's not cosmetic. It's very soft, it's slightly sweet, it's slightly floral. It's very nice, it's slightly musky, but it does smell like a really nice smelling fabric softener or laundry detergent, something like that. Pleasant though, I like it. It definitely smells nice. If you just want something clean and like where you smell clean, then that one is a good choice. So revisiting L'Oud, there's not much information on it. I'll read you the blurb. It's a fragrance that builds around natural oud essential oil from Laos. There is no olfactory pyramid as the fragrance is not composed around a head, heart or body. L'Oud accord with natural oud and cypriol, to name two ingredients, is central to the fragrance. All other notes and ingredients are there to support a naturalistic, wild, untamed oud. The oud oil from Laos was imported with an official license. Other notes are dark vetiver from Java, patchouli, myrrh, castoreum, morel extract, musk, cistus, sandalwood and ambergris. These are the natural ingredients: rose, jasmine, oud oil, cistus, styrax, tobacco, sandalwood, myrrh oil, patchouli, vetiver, cypriol. And then he's put morel is partly natural. So I have no clue what in there specifically makes it smell like melted plastic. Just the general combination, I have no clue. Maybe that is literally just the way that particular oud oil smells in the opening. Maybe it just naturally has that and it's actually not you know, any of the other notes. Maybe that's just how it is. I don't know, but I've never smelled that in an oud before, from my experience. If there's any of one of those that you'd like me to review first, I will spend more time on that one first before the others. So if there's a particular one that you think I should do, let me know in the comments. And yeah, that's it. I've got some more first impressions to do of the Zoo and Brie from Breezy Fragrance. Very kindly sent me some samples of those. If you've not checked out Brie, I'll leave a link to her channel again. I really appreciated her sending me those samples. So her face will be at the end of this video. You can click and go watch Brie, and a link in the description. And yeah, we'll do some first impressions of those soon as well. Hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you again next time. Remember, very casual first impression. I will be wearing them properly on skin and having, you know, more solid information for the whole thing. I just wanted to do something a bit more light-hearted and easygoing, just so you have a little bit of content. But you know, they're not final opinions. My opinions can change from when they're actually worn skin properly. First, like it says in the title, it's a genuine first impression of what it gives you initially. Doesn't mean that your opinion can't change later on with more time and experience with the perfume. But take it as a first impression. Don't, you know, people take them very seriously, and it's what it gives you initially. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you again soon. Take care everyone. Bye bye.